Desperate Housewives is on.
Alfred, I thought I told you to record those.
Where's the DVR?
Okay, I'm just going to start here because I started recording a few seconds ago. Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Fandom Flux podcast.
There is no Fandom Flux, only Batman.
Were you quoting Bat Dad earlier?
I'm Batman.
Let's get off to a great start. We have a full house tonight. We have me, your host, as always, KCW. We have Ethan again.
I keep disappearing and coming back. I don't know where I go.
We have Zero, who's less dramatic, please.
I am the night.
God damn
it.
We have Slicer.
Hello. I feel startlingly normal right now.
Yay. And we have Kenchi back from his, 2 weeks sabbatical, we'll call it.
Pretty much fresh from the electronics department at your local friendly Kmart.
Yeah.
Oh, actually the Kmart near my house shut down.
Well.
You said that last time. Why do you keep bringing this up? This is not relevant information.
Hey, you don't talk shit about Kmart, man.
You can talk all the shit about Kmart you want to.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can buy underpants in like 36 packs. For like $5.
Specific.
Emergency underpants.
Is that 36 packs or 36 packs?
36 pack, like 36 to a pack.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a good deal.
It is.
Is it? Not if they disintegrate around your waist.
That's a good point.
And they always have that picture of that very handsome man who always leaves me sexually confused after I take away the wrapper.
All right.
Wait, how would they disintegrate around your waist? Are your genitals acidic or something?
They're cheap.
My feet are.
It's a metaphor for cheap underwear. For cheap materials.
It's tired of taking your shit.
Oh, if it's taking your shit, that's a bigger problem. You got that?
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think my connection just went to the floor, though.
Oh, God. I love this episode already. All right. So, what?
Wait, are you sure we were recording? I thought you said I was the one who's recording.
No, I bought the fucking program because you skipped out last week.
Oh, okay, cool. So I can close this. All right.
Yeah, it's like, it would be delaying the problem anyway because we were only using trials.
Yeah.
Yours would be running out a week sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd have to start someone else using a trial, and theirs would have like 3 weeks missing from it because you'd still be recording and all that mess.
Welcome back to Fandom Flux, behind the scenes.
I have now invested
mess.
in this podcast, so
here you're watching how we apply Casey's accent. It takes at least 3 stage members.
We're not going anywhere anytime soon, so be glad for that.
Mm.
Yay.
What are we doing? That's what I was trying to say a while ago.
Mm.
What were we doing?
That's a very prevalent question.
We'll start with Ethan, because... Ethan.
I've just kind of been rediscovering a lot of old bands that I've found I like U2, Talking Heads, Genesis, Bad Religion. You know, just some good classics.
Some of those are good bands.
Yeah.
U2 I disagree with, but that's just me.
I've only listened to a little bit of War right now, and I can see how there'd be people who don't like it, but I kind of want to listen to the whole album just in case.
All right.
I've also kind of started shifting a little towards Grateful Dead.
Aw, man. I don't like them. That's just me.
I have never listened to anything by them. What are they?
Them or their music?
Or
both?
Both. I don't know. It's just me. Personal preference. Take it as you will.
Yeah, this is a band that I've never actually listened to, so I don't know what they're like or anything.
It's one of those, like, they defy genre bands. The closest thing I could say is probably rock.
How specific? Okay. We'll ignore the Grateful Dead as far as I'm concerned then.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been doing, or just listening to music?
I've been playing a lot of Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah, it really is. How far am I? I have just defeated the first red bear.
So you're like still in the first area then.
Yeah. How far are you?
Yeah. I started again because I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really ever have to start again.
Yeah.
Because after you've set your skills and everything, you can reset your character and you'll just lose 2 levels and you can just gain it back again really quick and you can reset all your skills.
What is
but
your
I didn't
party
want to
made up of?
I didn't want to do that because that feels like negative progress to me.
Yeah.
So I just started all the way from the beginning and it feels like I'm making progress all the way through again.
Yeah.
So
like I asked, what do you use for your party? Like what special?
The first time I used the fighter class, the shield class.
Mm-hmm.
They're both technically fighter classes, but the one that deals damage and the tank, yeah. And in my first run, I used a sniper, a healer, and a mage.
That's exactly what I'm using.
Yeah, and then I skipped out on that because the sniper wasn't really doing it for me. So in the second run, I switched to the sort of, I suppose you could call it like a ninja class.
The like dark dancer thing.
Yeah, Night Seeker.
Yeah,
That's what it's called. Yeah.
I actually
it's like a glass cannon kind of character.
Yeah.
Does a lot of damage but can't take any.
I tried using them. I like restarted and tried using one of the night guys, but I just found the sniper a lot more useful because of his ability to like bind enemies. Like
yeah, I never got into doing that.
Oh, it's very helpful.
That's supposed to like increase your accuracy. That's supposed to be like really useful a little bit further on from where I am.
Well, I mean, like, you know the mini bosses you can run into, and how they have like those super special attacks with like their claw swipes and stuff.
Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. What were you saying?
You know how you can have like those mini bosses that have that one special move they always seem to have, which can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If you use like the specific arm or leg bind or head bind, they can't do that. So you can just wail on them.
Right. But you've got to know which one does that. I guess
it's fairly obvious if you look at the enemy. Like if you're fighting one of the like gorilla or badger ones, you know to use arm, and if you're fighting one of the doe fawn-esque creatures, you know to use leg.
Okay. We'll move away from this topic because the peanut gallery are getting restless.
Yeah.
Completely lost, yes.
All right. Zero, what have you been doing?
Well, let's see. Not today, but this week in my honors class, like on Thursday, we did a Japanese tea ceremony.
Huh.
Okay.
My school doesn't do anything cool like that. Oh, actually, I do have something interesting that came up at my school. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. Well, for now, go back to Ethan.
It's kind of like weird and interesting, so I think it'll get your attention. There was this administrator at my school who kind of left for unspecified reasons this year, and then on the news we found out it was because he was having sexual affairs with some of the students.
Bam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't know quite how to respond to that, so...
Well, Japanese tea ceremonies.
Yeah, let's go back to Zero. Thank you for that, Zero.
They gave us, we each got our own little, like, thing of tea. It was, like, in a bowl, and you have to, like, rotate it twice. They did it clockwise before you drink from it. And it was, like, this sort of kind of thick green.
Or rotate it.
Like, you rotate the actual bowl. Because, they present it to you showing the most beautiful part of the bowl, what they think is the most beautiful part at the front, and then you don't touch your lips to the most beautiful part. What are you, arrogant? So you rotate it, and then you drink. And what they do is they pulverize the whole like tea leaf into it, and so you're basically drinking the leaf.
Huh.
And they give you a cracker with it, like it's a sweet, like sort of cookie with it, and like more of a rice cracker. And so that was interesting. It was just, they had like a whole little stage thing where like they were like, this is the actual what the room would look like, but there were too many people to all be in it at once because freaking tea rooms are small. Like 8 tatami mat was a big one, the biggest one. That's not even that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So this is like a culture differences kind of thing, but I assume tea ceremonies are like high class kind of things, like really posh and well mannered kind of occasions.
well, it's more of a tea gathering, I guess. You know, you go and you kind of sort of hang out, I guess, but you know, the tea rooms depend, like how big they are depends on how rich you are. Like, so not everybody has one. Like 8 tatami match is like rich person, and then like some people will have like frickin' 2 tatami mat, which is just kind of sad.
Okay.
I'm gonna nod and pretend I know what you're talking about.
This was a weird thing to bring up, but
also this week, my laptop fell and it kind of wouldn't turn on.
Oh.
So what I did was, like, it would turn on when I had it plugged in, but it wouldn't turn on when I didn't have it plugged in. So I was like, okay, so what's the problem? So I removed the battery pack, and there were, like, these screws there, and I'm like, I'm just going to tie in these screws, and I ended up working again, because I'm a genius.
Well, I mean, you know how to perform the tea ceremony. You don't knock that kind of knowledge.
Right.
It's
I have a similar story, actually. My, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's Sanyo brand, the bigger TVs they make, have this problem with the connectors, and so they just start to go bad after a while, and I had to, like, take the case off my TV and keep it off, so everything's exposed now. It's just...
That
it's
sounds
the
like a
most
really
ghetto
cool
looking
TV.
crap ever.
Sounds like a really cool TV.
Yeah, it also sounds, I don't know, maybe dangerous to watch.
You don't want to touch those connectors. They're really hot.
However,
Yeah.
that's only the second coolest TV I've seen. The first one was probably this functional one I found in some guy's guitar.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's ostentatious, but for a musician, that makes sense.
Yeah. It was really cool.
All right, that distraction out of the way. Zero, anything else you've been doing this week? Or have you just been drinking tea with your tea ceremony buddies?
Well, I did...
Fixing their electronics.
I did slow down on playing Pokemon. I really haven't been touching it that much.
Fucking damn it.
I just wanted to say it once. I haven't been playing it that much.
Did you manage to get the patch?
Yeah. They released
cool.
a patch, to fix the game-breaking save bug, where if you save in certain areas of the game, you just lose everything.
I'm just really mad that now that the game is technically online and you can share names and stuff, you can't name your characters profanity anymore.
Right.
You can't?
Yeah.
No, you can't. You have to be really creative about it.
Yeah, Rob in his stream tried to nickname one of his Pokemon after one of the viewers, and the name was considered profanity by the censor, so he couldn't do it. I forget what it was. It was for a Tauros.
There was this one live stream of Pokemon X that I thought was pretty creative, and what they did was they used Pokediddler.
Now I remember it was something to do with farts. You can't say fart in a Pokemon nickname, apparently.
I just
some swear filters catch the word hate.
Really?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
hate is
seriously.
a strong word. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to...
The
You got
dark
that
side.
backwards.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
anger?
You got that backwards. It's fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side or something.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Why do I know that? I hate Star Wars.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't like it so much either. Sorry.
It's not easy to like Star Wars after the prequels, you know.
It's
Very difficult.
You've still got the good parts of Star Wars.
Yeah, the ones that have been remade so many times that the original film doesn't even make sense anymore.
I wouldn't go that far.
No.
Yeah, the characters' motivations and stuff don't make sense. I've read articles and shit. I don't care.
Have you watched them, though?
No.
That's what I thought.
What, the remakes?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily...
Why would I want to watch the remakes when I've seen the originals?
Well, I mean, to see if they actually know what they're talking about, because forum posters tend to be kind of egregious in their scrutinies. Like, they tend to take something very small and...
Yeah, but the hand shot first thing, the really famous example, actually makes a lot of sense. Han Solo was a more interesting character when he was willing to shoot first.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the one everyone points at, but is there any others besides that one?
That I can think of? No, because I don't really care, because I don't like Star Wars.
Really, there's actually only one addition that I thought was really lame, and that was when they added a scene with Jabba in the first one.
That's a bad idea in any sense. Why would you add anything with him in it? He's like the most universally hated character in the Star Wars universe. Even I know that.
He was also CGI.
Did you say Jabba or Jar Jar?
Jabba.
CGI.
Oh, okay, never mind. I got mixed up.
Love
Yeah,
that CGI.
I can see why you got confused.
Yeah.
I liked it better when they had actual like costumes, which is I hear what they're trying to do in the new trilogy of movies that they're trying to do. I'm not going to say it's going to be good, but the fact that they're trying to at least get back to the roots with the creating costumes and cutting down on the CG, that gives me some hope.
Are they actually doing the trilogy first? I heard they were doing like character films like they did for the Avengers.
They're doing an episode 7 from what I've seen. I don't know if they're going to be doing character films. I think they are.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's going to be a Boba Fett one.
I've heard that some of the guys from Pixar are attached to the writing, so I'm willing to give it a shot if Pixar is associated with it.
Cars, Monsters, Inc., the new one.
What's wrong with Monsters, Inc.?
It was... Pardon me, sorry, drinking a Red Bull. It was every college cliche and high school cliche that you've ever seen, ever, except with monsters.
Are you sure you're not talking about the new one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The new one.
I'm talking about the old one.
Hell, the old one was like a rip-off of all sorts of other stuff as well. I mean, to bring up another topic that's going to be talked about later, Are Real Monsters came out ages before Monsters, Inc. did.
Whoa, let's save that one. Let's keep that
I'm
one
just
in
saying,
the chamber.
I'm just bringing it up because it's relevant, that's all.
Okay. I got nothing else going on that really happened this week that I can remember. So let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Slicer.
Yeah.
You're next.
Nothing virtually. We went to the store a few days ago and I saw a copy of Fable 2 for like $2.50, so I got that. I've been playing it.
Cool. It's a good game.
Playing it right now, actually. So if I sound distracted, that's why.
Yeah. I spent like 20 minutes like humping that game for the last podcast. So
Wow.
It's a good game. I was
I'm not saying it's not.
gushing over the plot.
I love
that's
that
all.
game. I love that game.
It's
not even mine.
I despise the ending, though. I mean, I picked the family one expecting you'd get your sister back, and you just find this note about her staying with Lucian or whatever. I don't...
It was with the Archon, what's his name? Scythe or something? I forget what his name is, but he's like an old king or something that can't die.
I personally couldn't get into them.
The first one was good. The second one was... I'll tell you what, the first one was okay. The remake of the first one with all the stuff they wanted to put in is much better and a good game. The second one is probably a great game, and then the third one is absolute shit, and you shouldn't even bother looking at it.
Yeah, don't touch that one.
Even the box art, just fucking burn it or something.
I remember.
I would kill somebody for a Fable game with a good map.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
None of them have a good map. It's just like I can teleport to regions in this one, and that's it.
I would pay someone for a game that touts a moral choice system that actually is kind of interesting, as opposed to just beat this side or that side.
Yeah, something with shades of gray, I guess.
Yeah,
Than just black and white. Like
there was one game that was
Spec Ops
Jade
9?
Empire, I think it was. I wasn't going to say Spec Ops because that's not a moral choice system. That's you do this horrible thing in the middle of the game, and then
it forces you to.
And there's no choice about that, so that's not a moral choice.
Yeah, Fallout has neutral choices, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe have you guys played Fallout games?
Yes.
I played New Vegas.
I played 3 and a bit of 1 and 2, but couldn't really get into it because it's so old and kind of... It's the old game thing where you just can't get into it if you've used more modern mechanics that make more sense and are easier to use.
Well, 3 was, like, handed over to different studio.
3 was Bethesda, That was Oblivion guys and the Skyrim guys.
Yeah, and I felt that the thing with moral choice, to kind of go back to that, is that when you play a game, you're a different person than how you would act normally.
Not really.
Okay, tell me in normal life when you would go through a trash can for food and money and clothes.
You can't use that because that's just a game mechanic for how you get your food.
You don't do that?
That's how you get your health items.
All right, well, how is this?
Tell
me in real life when you would shoot someone on the spot for their stuff they're probably carrying.
That's the thing. It's because you're not playing you're playing as you without any consequences for you.
I don't even do that in games, actually.
Yeah, me neither. I don't usually attack
don't?
somebody unless they attack me.
Oh. No, if I see somebody with a shiny gun that I want, I'll shoot them in the face.
I won't do that. I don't do that. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I just world in games. That's just me. Like, in Grand Theft Auto,
I tend to be the good guy.
I'm the polite Grand Theft Auto player ever. Like, I don't shoot anybody for no reason. Like,
that's the thing about being the hero. You can do whatever you want as long as you get give enough water to that bum. You're a good guy.
Like the other day, I was like fucking playing Grand Theft Auto. Me and my friend, we were like came out of an ammunition, and we were getting back into his car, and there was some dude sitting across the street in his car, and I was like, what's he waiting there for? My mind didn't put 2 and 2 together that he stuck a sticky bomb to my friend's car, which was a fucking hot pink sports car. So it stood out. And the second he got in there, I realized what was going on. And I tried to get away from the car, but it was too late, and he blew my car up. And I was like, why would you do that? In my mind, I know exactly why he did that. Because he could.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that a lot of people seem to understand in like wide open games like Fallout or Grand Theft Auto. You can do anything, and you will do that, and you will do it in the most dickhead way possible.
I was mad for all 10 seconds, and I realized that was fucking great. It was great.
A point that stands out for me when I was playing through New Vegas was in the starter town when I was trying to what I was trying to do was I was trying to do like sort of a mask for my character. Like everyone saw him as good, but he did little evil things on the side that no one would notice. And what I was doing was in the store that you start off in, I was trying to like pickpocket and seeing if I could sell that to the guy to see if I could make a profit.
I don't think you can. I think they block that.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But the problem was he noticed me, so I ended up just shooting him in the face and kind of ransacking the town before I ran off for New Vegas.
Well, that's what you get for pickpocketing in the first town.
It's there.
Yeah, kind of shooting yourself in the foot there.
It's there. It's all nice and shiny.
In the Fallout games, the sneak skill is utterly useless until you get to like at least 80 with it.
Yeah, you
don't even use it.
You gotta crank that thing.
Oh, it's broken as hell when you get it high enough, but before that,
use the stealth suit and you're invisible no matter what.
But basically, it kind of created non-stop anarchy in that town without even doing the soda poppers mission.
I don't know what that is.
Anyone
else know what that is?
It's when you join the gang in the town and storm it.
I've never played the game. Anyone else know what that is?
The town is kind of under siege because they're harboring a traitor that these bandits want to kill.
All right. Okay.
So you can either join the bandits and attack the town, or defend the town and kind of recruit all the townsfolk to defend with you.
Fair enough. What are we doing? I've forgotten what we were doing.
You don't have the topic.
Hey, Sliceness, what were you doing? That's what we were doing.
Sliceness, that was it. Okay. That's it, I think. Aside from the TV thing, which I already explained, I believe.
Yeah. So, Sliceness, Super Repairman.
Mm-hmm.
And Hero.
I expect the entire monitor to actually fall off at some point.
I give it 6 months.
The colored piece, so it's just going to be a big rectangle of light.
I put money on bursting into flames.
That could be bad
probably.
If you're looking at it at the time, I think.
Yeah, it's really bright.
Yeah. Okay. Kenchi, what have you been doing for your sabbatical?
All right.
I'm still going to call it that, even though it's stupid.
All right. Well, basically for the last 2 weeks, they've been giving me like a ton of hours at Kmart. Ridiculous, absurd. They called me in yesterday, which pissed me off. I hate being called in. but that's just my thing. Something interesting that happened to me last week is because I'm starting to get like regular money. I was able to start fighting again. Hooray!
Oh, yay!
Yeah. Guess what happened to me the other day, like Tuesday?
Oh God, damn it!
Well, I'm not the prettiest one in this cast anymore for at least another week or so until the bruises fade. But guess what else?
You mean anymore?
I'm pretty.
Casey's the pretty one. Look at his white hair and startling blue eyes.
I'm ethnically pretty.
Okay.
All right.
Fair
Anyway, in addition to getting my face bruised up, and I won, by the way, I broke my hand and two of my fingers, my ring finger and middle finger. And guess what I did?
What?
What?
I taped my fingers together.
Oh God, damn it!
With
You've been
electrical
saying
tape.
that. That's impressive. I love
That-
He
That's a
changed
good
his
setup.
avatar so we could see it.
That's all with electric tape.
Yeah.
It's not even.
You need to send me that picture so I can put it in the link dump.
You can have it.
Oh, you need to send both for like a before and after thing.
I don't have a before, but that's the after.
Yeah.
If
Is
you
this
pay
one of those you should have seen the other guy type deals?
No, because, well, other than the fact that I didn't know my hand was broke because there was 3 rounds. And I didn't know my hand was broken until it was all over. He broke my hand, like, coming at, like, halfway through this 3rd round. He broke my hand. I blocked a punch wrong. I ended up trying to catch it instead of block it with my arms like an idiot, and he broke my hand and my fingers. And I got my glove off. It was swollen around the last 3 fingers like a beach ball. It was so huge.
Mm.
And I don't have health insurance, so fuck going to the hospital. That's not happening.
Nobody goes to the hospital.
It was a moral victory then, basically.
No, I won.
Yeah,
All
you won, but you got your fingers broken.
yeah, but nobody else knows that. There. You know it. And anyone listening to this knows it, but they don't know it.
So basically, 5 people know it.
Yeah. Well, wow, that's a low self-esteem. Anyway.
We get 40 regular listeners, I think, and we got 80 for the one that Kenchi was first on. I don't know why. Maybe because you plugged it, Kenchi. Maybe you could help us out again.
All right, I'll plug it again. But anyway, it's not the first time that's happened. Like, I've I tape my fingers together when I break them every single time because I don't have health insurance.
So they don't exactly set well, or what?
Yeah, it's like they never heal right. Like, and I'm pretty sure by the time I'm 30, I'm gonna have like offensive lineman hands, like with fingers. But for now, they still work, and I can still type. So yeah, it works.
You know, if only
You can end up with fingers with like 6 joints in them, so that they like bend in all different directions.
Probably. It's gonna be
just ridiculously typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably get like weird angles and shit.
I'm gonna have that hands from that dude Hanson in Scary Movie 2.
Forget QWERTY, I've got QWERTY up.
You
That's
know,
what I'm doing.
if only you'd just broken your middle finger, then you just have to keep that elevated.
I'd still have to tape it to another one so it would stay still.
That's true.
My uncle once broke his middle finger, and he had to like keep it elevated when he went into work. So he just like waved it to his boss. He's like, "Hi, boss." And his boss is just like, I can't do anything."
That's awesome.
When I was really young, I once fractured my foot over a half pipe, and I had to get like a full cast, and I had to be on crutches for a few weeks. And like not the day after, I was dragged to some bowling party, so I just got to sit and watch while everyone else had fun. And I just sat over at the cafeteria area eating mozzarella sticks.
That sounds like a fun time to me.
It wasn't. I didn't even have money for like the arcade cabinets.
When I was a kid, there was this park that I went to one day, and there were these big, tall, vertical logs. And so me being the little kid that I was, I said to climb on them, you know. And I was sitting on top of one. You know, I was like, hand me my soda. And my grandma was like, okay, but you should probably get down. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I put my soda behind me, and I reach back to go grab my soda later, and my hand touches nothing. And I just start falling backwards onto my face right on the concrete.
Nice.
I got a concussion from that, and I'd like to thank that for all my problems concerning me.
Right.
Wonderful.
I have never broken a bone.
I mean,
when I was 1, I held a curling iron up on my forearm for like 10 seconds for no reason.
And then eventually, after a while, the curling iron melted.
Apparently, because I wasn't the one that put it down. My mom ran over and smacked it out of my hand. I didn't cry, but I still have the burn. Still there. Right on.
Mm.
It's pretty
Once
sweet.
again, I stuck my hand in oil.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I
have never had a serious injury, which is strange because I really should have at 2 specific incidents. Once went skiing in the Alps for like a holiday with my parents, and I fell off a ski lift.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh, the Alps. Ooh, I can afford to go to the Alps. Ugh.
No, we can't. This was like once, like years ago. We are not in good straits at the moment, but
We're not allowed back either way.
it was I twisted my knee or something. I don't know.
That's it?
Quite what happened. Yeah, that was pretty much fine. I couldn't do anything for the rest of the week and ruined the holiday, but yeah. And the other time I got hit by a car. And I pretty much walked away from it just perfectly fine.
If I had $1 for every time I almost got hit by a car. Like, I when I was a kid, I ran out in front of, from my school, I would run out in front of cars. Just, like, I'd be like, oh, look, there's a thing, and I'd run out. And I got to a point where, like, even until, like, 5th grade, my teachers would just, like, keep a careful eye on me.
I'm
Just
surprised
be like,
they
hey,
didn't...
stay here.
I'm surprised they didn't just end up getting one of those dog shock collars for you, so if you ever went out of a specific perimeter, it'd shock you.
And that's
I'm
why
just going to blame all my eccentricities on my head injury.
That's why I can't be a teacher, because if that was me and I'd watched you run out in front of a car like 8 times every week, at some point I'd have just been like, I just feel like that's natural selection giving me a sign. At some point this kid gets picked off, and I might as well just let it happen.
Yeah.
Here's to you, Darwin.
Yeah,
I almost got hit once as well, and it's probably one of my like top 5 badass moments of my life. There are probably only like 5 badass moments in my life, but you know,
You're still
basically
young.
chasing some like pricks that I knew because they were pricks, and ran like there's this like line of hedges like right next to this main road that you have to go through to cross it. So I run right through those hedges, try to cross the road. There's this like red car that's about to plow into me. I think, oh shit, I can't move out of the way in time. Jump. And I do, and I land on the bonnet perfectly and just run off again.
you didn't.
I totally did do that, I promise. That was I'm proud of that moment. I don't know why. It was completely stupid, but it was a good time.
Because that was
Adrenaline is a
called
great thing.
athleticism, okay? That's why you're proud of it.
Yeah, athleticism, not exactly something I'm known for, but yeah.
I was once in PE class, and this kid was going around, like, just kind of being a dick and fake punching people. So he comes up to me, and he fake punches me. Like, next thing I know, he's on the ground, and he's like, you flipped me. I'm like, I flipped you?
There was one time in 5th grade when I fainted on a field trip, and everyone flipped out.
Okay.
Why? I mean, why did you faint? What happened?
It turned out I had just locked my legs and I had cut off blood circulation for so long.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, like that thing that happens at weddings, where people are just standing at the aisle for too long and they just kind of, and go down.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We're kind of off track, as Kenchi points out in the chat.
I don't even think we can see the track anymore.
Kenchi,
Yeah.
what else have you been doing this week, aside from Kmart and fighting and winning Pyrrhic victories?
Yeah, Pyrrhic victories. Anyway, other than that, I've just been playing an assload of Grand Theft Auto online.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you gotta specify on that.
Yeah, like, specify how.
Online, I mean.
Like, what have I
It's
like what I've done? Okay, like the first day that came out, like I don't know if I said I probably didn't say this. Now, the first day it came out, I was like going online with like the first week that online started. It was me and 2 other people I play with regularly. One of them had already left, and we got into like a gigantic shootout with the cops, and I lost my car. And when you lose your car in a shootout with the cops, it gets impounded, so you have to steal out of impound. And when you steal out of impound, you automatically get 2 or 3 stars. And when my
I like
car
how
was,
you have to immediately steal it from impound. You can't just pay the fare.
no,
I think you can pay the fare.
I don't even think like
Is
I
it
don't
worth
think
it,
you can. Like I don't think you can. Well, I mean, you have to own your own car in that game online.
Yeah, they pretty much give you a car at the beginning.
No, you have to steal one, and they basically give it to you. But anyway, you got to have your own, because if you drive around a stolen car, cops will attack you. So you can't just roll around in a stolen car. It has to be you have to have your own at some point. Anyway, I stole my car back, and it was in the exact same state it was in when it was gone, which meant all 4 tires were busted. The hood was off. The driver's side door was missing. It was basically undrivable, so we had to get into my buddy's car, and the cops were all over us at this point. And the first thing he does is just takes off down the street across these train tracks. And a train comes out of nowhere, and I didn't see it coming. He didn't see it coming, and just obliterated both of us and killed us. And that was about 2 hours into playing Grand Theft Auto, and I was hooked.
I still think
so one of my then his car is in the impound as well because it was in a chase with the police, right?
That is too.
I still say that one of my favorite first week moments was probably from Achievement Hunter, where I think it was Gavin was parachuting to Michael's house and he just plastered against the wall.
Yeah, they were trying to see if you could kill someone that's inside their own apartment, where it's a separate zone where you can't pull your gun out or anything. So they were flinging helicopters at the wall where he was while he was looking out, and you could see the helicopter just flying around out there, shooting missiles at him. And eventually they just decided, flying helicopters above him, and then parachuting down, trying to hit their face right into the window, right in front of him. And there's this perfect shot when he does it exactly right and just bounces off the window. And you get the shot from Michael's camera. He's just sitting there in his apartment. This guy bounces off his window, his rainbow parachute just falls to the ground.
That was my morning routine. Was that interesting?
I bought an apartment.
It turns out that you can die in your apartment if a helicopter's blades clip through the window. That's the only way to do it. Missiles or anything don't work.
I feel that there was at least one Rockstar programmer who was watching that video who just kind of clapped his hands together and went, "Called it."
Yeah.
Someone had a $9,000 bounty on him, and he got sick of getting chased, so he just bought a garage and hid inside a garage so that nobody could kill him. I proceeded to buy the exact same garage to try and kill him, and it almost worked because when I bought it and went inside, he was there for a split second before they separated into the different zones. I almost killed him inside of his own garage, and that was worth $26,000.
But then the laws of space and time remembered what they were, and
yeah, I really should actually start playing that. I'm not one for multiplayer most of the time, but it was fun while I played it, so I should take another look, I guess.
So it is
get that stipend that he's talking about.
It is well put together, right? The online thing.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
Even after those first couple of rocky days.
Yeah, they plan to roll out extra features as it goes on. I mean, they haven't started the heists yet or anything, I don't think. Have they?
No.
So they'll be rolling new stuff out as time goes on.
I still think
but right now, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I still think one of the more entertaining features I've seen so far is the Mario Kart game.
Oh, yeah, where you get power-ups and stuff that no one does.
Yeah, GTA Race.
Yeah. It looks hilarious, though.
It is hilarious.
I just wish more people would play it.
Well, people don't like people like to win, and they don't like the prospect of their victory not being assured, so they don't.
They'll just rage quit.
Yeah, no, they'll just play regular races, which is there's a bigger volume of cheating because they've made it almost impossible to not get your car pitted, pit maneuver your car. So I just exclusively race on bikes when I do regular race.
Beep. There we go.
All right, let's just move along.
Yeah. We lost Kenchi for a second there. All right. So, yeah, you were saying something. I forget what it was.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I've been doing, just playing GTA, getting my hand broken, working.
Yeah. How do you play with a broken hand?
Oh, thumb.
Oh, I suppose it's the middle and ring finger, so it's not used.
It's just my thumb. I can use my thumb and index. It's hard to hold the controller, but I had to have super grip with my right hand on the controller, but whatever.
Does it cramp your hand after a while?
You do not know how many times I've broken my hand, do you? Both of them.
I don't.
Just to kind of wedge a topic in here, has anyone started watching Kill la Kill besides me?
Nope.
I've wanted to, but I never got a chance to.
I mean, there's plenty of sites that are distributing it. It's interesting, but there's probably some points that it might turn people off.
Okay.
Okay, for example, it's kind of got a sort of, like, the main female lead is strong and assertive and beats up a bunch of characters, but she does it in this skimpy sort of armor uniform. How skimpy, you might ask? The only thing covering her genitalia are a few straps. Like, literally suspenders.
Hi, is that Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
Ivysaur.
You guys didn't notice that?
Ivysaur.
With angry eyes.
Yeah, Zero just changed his avatar for some reason.
Well, I mean, he's got to get in the mood for this spooktacular Halloween special.
Ivysaur wants to eat me. It's creeping me out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I haven't said what I've been doing yet. So, what have I been doing? I watched some anime, I guess. Anyone watch sports anime in the podcast?
No.
No?
Have you been watching Free?
No.
Oh, stop it.
He's trying to give me an aneurysm. Fucking Pokemon avatars. Knock it off, Zero. Yeah.
How many plushies do you have?
I think we're going to find out.
You better be careful with that answer, boy.
They're my brothers. Actually, the Ivysaur is mine, but the other one is my brother's. He also has Pikachu.
I've been thinking of buying some plushies because, I have my old Haunter one and that was awesome. Yeah, Haunter's badass Pokemon. Got me talking about Pokemon again. Right.
What is the problem with Pokemon?
Because we've talked about it for the last 3 weeks.
Oh.
Same as Attack on Titan. I don't want to talk about that again either.
And Persona for a while.
That too, yeah. What was I saying? Sports anime no one else watches, so it's kind of going to be brief mention. So Hajime no Ippo, the third season, I suppose you could call it, of the anime, boxing anime, very, very good. Best sports anime as far as I'm concerned. And Ace of Diamond just started, which is a baseball anime. It's a good one too.
I still say the best sports anime is Muscle.
I've never seen that one.
It's wrestling anime.
Series
It's awesome.
Zero.
Okay.
Another one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it's a creeper.
Yeah, it took me a while to recognize that one too.
Yeah, it's a red creeper. Yeah, Ace of Diamond, very nice animation. I'll say that much. Even I can recognize that's really good animation of it.
Yeah.
So
I might check those out. I wanted to watch the boxing one for a while, so I'll probably check both those out.
It's definitely a good anime, and I mean it's good enough that I ended up reading and catching up on the manga. It's 1,000 chapters. At this point.
I noticed that too. That's what scared me away from it. I don't have that kind of time because I bulk read.
Yeah, watching the anime is going to be a lot quicker because that gets you to about 600 chapters in, I imagine, by the time this anime finishes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's very good, very worth watching from the very beginning. What else? The second season of Magi started, which is basic shonen stuff with kind of an Arabian Nights theme going on. So it's like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, Aladdin, all that stuff. It's very good. It's weird animation style. No one has defined teeth. I find very, very strange. Huh. It's just a white strip for their teeth. It's really weird to look at, but it's fine, I guess. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Not too terribly distracting.
No, you see it in the first episode, and then you kind of get used to it if you're going to bulk watch it. It might be jarring if you're watching episode to episode, so I don't know. Aside from that, I've been playing Etrian Odyssey. We've already talked about that, and trying to write again. I made a minor mistake in deciding to do a tuning exam that was very heavily score based when I barely passed my maths exams.
Yeah, you got it pretty far off.
That was a bad idea. Yeah.
Well, points for trying a different approach. I mean,
yeah, it was going okay until I realized I'd drastically miscalculated how many points people had gotten.
The problem was most of the Mist team had no reason to attack anybody else. It's like they already had enough of the little buttons they need to collect to already pass. What was it, one person? It was one person wouldn't have any?
Yeah, one person wouldn't have passed yet and would be the only one that actually had to go anywhere and hunt people down for them.
Out of 14 total.
Out of 14 people. So, yeah, I needed more people than that, so I had to fudge things a little bit with, like... Yeah. That was fucking hell. Dragon Ball. Oh, God damn it, Ethan.
What is this, the episode of Avatars?
Apparently.
It's what happens when I realize my laptop has a camera.
I am not going to link all of these images. I'm just saying that now. We're not going to do that because... Anyway.
I'm sorry.
That's
This is my fault to an extent.
a little bit, yeah. Okay, that's what I've been doing this week, I guess.
We are... Zero and I are both 6. We are 6-year-olds that you have managed to convince to be on this podcast.
Pretty much.
Halloween stuff. Zero insisted on this topic.
Oh, yeah.
So, Zero, once again, you can start it off because you suggested it. This is now my policy, apparently.
Well, Halloween is right around the corner, probably be Halloween or close to Halloween by the time this podcast comes out. So, is anybody dressing up or anything?
God, I'm dressing up at work. I'm dressing up at work in my costume, and it's going to be glorious. Would you like to see this legendary costume?
Oh, God.
Is it
another thing that I need to
Why
link?
not?
Is it Kamina? Please tell me it's Kamina.
No. It's nothing that you'd expect.
Alright, let's see it.
Eventually. So, let's vamp for a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
I went to a costume party last night. That's about it.
That's pretty cool.
What the fuck is that?
The luchador.
Oh, God.
I thought you were that one character from Killer 7.
Nah.
Oh, wow.
Just a generic luchador from Mexico.
Okay.
You realize you need to speak like a luchador now, right?
I can
like
speak
the entire time.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I wish I had done better in my Spanish classes.
I know enough Spanish to get me out of jail, and that's it.
I think the bigger question might be why you were in jail in the first place in Mexico and was required to speak Spanish.
Because of my Spanish. Also.
Right.
Okay, so it's good enough that you can get into jail and then get out of it again.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's pretty suave.
Oh, is this your costume, Ethan? Fucking looks like a pig.
It's actually
I don't even know what that thing is.
It's from a band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we stop playing with the avatars now because it's visual comedy on an audio podcast?
I just used it to emphasize points and show you things that you needed to see.
Yeah, that you're going to have to link me to after so that I can link dump it, but yeah.
We're just doing it because you're still mad about it.
Ethan and Zero are just being dicks and making jokes that no one's going to get except for the people that's on this podcast already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing it because it gets you mad, like that bout at Rooster Teeth where they'd make all their IMs and quotes to fuck with Gus.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's good.
I'm just having fun.
Same here.
What are we talking about? Halloween. Anyone else dressing up? Anyone willing to say what they're dressing up as?
I've got a friend who's dressing up just for the heck of it, and my school will sometimes do things where you're able to dress up in costume, but it still has to fit the dress code, which leaves a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one kid who went as Zombie Jesus one year, though. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Fair enough. More power to him.
Yeah.
I guess Zombie Jesus is just kind of like regular Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, post-crucifixion Jesus.
So he's got a hole in him, I guess.
Holes. Hands and feet.
Oh, yeah, those two.
He's really good at hide and seek now.
I don't get that. So
because he can see through his hands. And he covers his eyes.
That was really.
So it was a higher
Zero.
level of comedy.
What are you planning on dressing as?
I'm actually working that day. I just checked my schedule yesterday, and I figured out. I'm going to work that day. Yay!
You can't wear your costume at work because I can.
I'm a KFC cook.
Well, Well, imagine a luchador making your chicken for you. Now, imagine that same luchador selling you electronics in your friendly retail store.
I would pay extra for that.
God.
Yeah, but
Nosotros tenemos videojuegos.
Deeper.
So we're the racist part of the podcast now, apparently.
Yep.
Let's just roll with it.
See?
Yeah. Slicer, you gonna dress up or anything?
I did last night, actually. I went to a costume party. My local brony group did that. I went as a pirate. I was originally going to go as Colonel Sanders, because a friend of mine is going as a chicken, so, yeah. I'm actually surprised they didn't have a Colonel Sanders outfit. It's like this giant superstore about just costumes, and 90% of them were just female tutu outfits. That's it.
It has been said that I pretty much make a good Colonel Sanders anyway. Because I tend to just not bother shaving, so I end up growing a big shrubbery-like beard. And with the white hair and everything, it's just
Okay, so
I'm just straight up Colonel Sanders like that.
If you're going to be Colonel Sanders, and there's going to be a guy that's going to be a chicken, can I be the hot oil?
No. Because that costume is just going to be oil. Just you take it and oil
You just got to oil yourself up like a wrestler, I suppose. You could do a double costume with Kenchi. He's the luchador wrestler, and you're just the regular wrestler. That's a thing. Yeah, I don't do Halloween myself, so that's a thing.
I wouldn't if I didn't have my family go trick-or-treating, so I go with them.
There's a few characters I'd like to go as, but some of the costumes would be kind of complex. Like, I'd like to go as Rincewind from the Discworld series, but I'll probably end up just going as the Death of Discworld, just because
That's just basically Death.
Yeah, but he does have a few minor modifications, like the Omega symbol.
Okay. God damn it, we need to stop making jokes in chat because the laughs aren't going to make sense.
I got you to laugh, though.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, to business.
What was the next... Do we move on to the next topic? Anyone else got to say anything more for Halloween?
Yeah, let's move on. We've been spending a lot of time just going off
Any
track
specific movies anyone's looking forward to, like horror movies? Are they planning on watching?
Nope, don't really care.
Nah, I don't watch horror movies, so.
Okay, moving on to cartoons.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
We just... Allow me to reiterate, we were just talking about a lot of old cartoons from the 90s in case you thought, just pad out the episode by...
Actually, someone insisted on saying Invader Zim should be a topic for some reason, and we just expanded it a little bit, so I wouldn't be completely left out.
I never insisted, I just brought it to the table.
Because it's nuckin' awesome.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good show, yeah. I suppose the main thing is that it wasn't what you'd expect from a show around that time, because what else did you have? You had Angry Beavers, the first season of SpongeBob, which wasn't all that great, and was Ren and Stimpy still on around that time?
I don't think so.
No, I think that ended ages ago.
Yeah. And, it was just a very dark and adult show. Like, one of the jokes that sticks out for me is when one of the characters points out that there's puppies, and another comments, "You can eat later."
I love that show so much.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
It's
right,
one of the
before my
few dark
time.
cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably after my time, to be honest with you. I think I stopped watching cartoons when I went into high school, which is 11 years old over here, so...
Now I'm watching anime, and that's completely different.
Yeah, kind of. Well, not so much anymore, because there's some, decent, I suppose you could say, more adult, but I'd say more family-oriented cartoons now. It's like Avatar and that kind of stuff. It's really good.
I suppose we should probably start this topic off by stating our favorite cartoons of all time, like our favorite animated shows.
Let's just say cartoons as in Western, cartoons, rather than, anime
Yeah,
muddies up.
that's just what I'm referring to. Like not anime, just Western animation.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Eastern if you're into that kind of thing.
All of us are into...
Yeah.
Ethan,
What?
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, Ethan, your favorite cartoons of Western origin, because I'm not doing anime.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like Russia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone watch Russian cartoons?
If you have one, go ahead and throw it out there. Feel free.
I mean, I didn't just mean Japan when I was referring to East Asian cartoons.
Okay.
Plenty of other countries.
Can you actually mention any Russian cartoons at all?
There was a Russian version of Winnie the Pooh, which referenced Scott.
You enjoy this? Good to know.
I think I'm going to look that up right now.
It's not just my honeypot, it's community's honeypot.
I think I've seen a screenshot of that or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, your favorite Western cartoons? Go.
Well, Invader Zim's one, but I'd probably say SpongeBob before it kind of went downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, pre-movie. And just because it was actually funny. Now it's just trying too hard. And Ren and Stimpy, for starters, just because the animation is so good. And I think probably my last favorite one would probably be Wallace and Gromit. Because it was one of my biggest inspirations for getting into animation.
Okay, I'm not sure that technically counts as animation. It's, like, not...
I think it...
Well, it's not drawn animation, it's claymation.
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, no, that's not the right term either.
It's stop motion.
Stop motion, thank you. God, claymation. So it might be both. I don't know. I don't know animation that well.
It's just stop motion. They're just using plasticine puppets and skeletons and doing the whole frame-by-frame thing.
It being a British show, I kind of grew up with that one. Any others, Ethan?
That's about it, really. Ed, Edd and Eddy. I can't forget
Ed,
yeah.
Eddie.
You can't forget that one.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at something else, but, you know. Ed and Eddie. I watched that. It was okay.
And of course...
For what I saw of it.
And, of course, the famous, like, the big ones of Cartoon Network, besides Ed and Eddy, like Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Oh,
damn it. I love
fantastic
Johnny
shows.
Bravo.
Yeah. Dexter's Laboratory.
Zero? Oh, you're still going? Okay. Okay. Zero?
Well, I liked a lot of the shows that he said. I also want to throw out there Cat Dog.
Fuck yeah.
That's
you're stealing all my favorites. You're stealing all my favorites.
That was a weird one. That was.
Yeah, that was back when Nickelodeon was still like, okay, just put anything on.
Simply for the weird question it asked as soon as you saw the title and saw the actual design, where one head's at one end and one head's at the other. You have to ask the obvious question. Where does the food go?
Yeah.
They have, like, a bathroom where it's, like, a litter box and, like, a fire hydrant. And you're like, there's a bathroom. How does it work?
It just makes me think of that one episode of Futurama where they had the two-headed goat.
I don't remember
tell you
that
something.
one.
It doesn't work. It's like the Thunderdome in there. You go in, nothing comes out.
Can't we get beyond Thunderdome?
Ethan made it not so funny.
If anyone here in the fan base watches Mystery Science Theater, you will thank me for that reference.
Okay.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Zero, anything else?
Let me think.
Beyond Cat Dog?
There was Cat Dog, Angry Beavers, I think we already mentioned.
Angry Beavers. Yeah, that was good.
Anyone remember Billy and Mandy?
Oh, yes. I don't know if that really fits in the time frame that we're talking about, does it? I don't know.
I'm just kind of talking about Western animation in general at this point.
Well,
yeah, we're not really going for time, so...
Well, I really like that one. Fred Burger.
Yeah. He only has a lifespan of 3 years, though, so he's dead
now. The guy
who
voiced Fred Burger actually went on to be the creator of Chowder.
I hate that show.
I don't know what that show is.
It was this really weird...
Oh, Chowder. Okay, yeah.
It was this really weird, like, cooking-oriented show. And it kind of tried to be sort of cutesy and weird, but it just didn't work. It was very much a miss in a large library of hits.
That's a good subtitle for the entire show. They tried. Sometimes too hard, sometimes not enough, but it just wasn't very good.
I thought the music was very good, and the animation was interesting because they did this technique with the clothes where it just be like they have a texture, and then they put the characters over that texture, so as the characters walked, the texture was static.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but that actually really annoyed me. I did not like that style.
I thought it was interesting, at least. I mean, it was definitely a very bright show. I mean, you don't really see a lot of color nowadays due to, like, real is brown, but it was nice to see a lot of vibrance in a show for once.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Slicer, you got any that haven't been mentioned?
Back when I was going to elementary school, I had to wake up at 6 o'clock. I took a shower, which lasted usually about 25 minutes. I'd watch some show, I forget what it was, and then I'd need to watch 11 minutes of House of Mouse on Disney, because I just love that show. And I don't care if I get flack for that, because it's Disney, but whatever. And I would routinely miss the bus, because I accidentally watched more, because the bus would show up at like a 7:12 or something like that. So that was it.
Disney stuff.
That's my choice.
Disney stuff was good.
Yeah.
I mean, like I used to live on like the really early shorts with like Mickey and Donald and Pluto and all that stuff. That was great. I loved those.
Disney. I burned myself out on Disney because when I was in elementary school, I used to stay up like super late during the summer, and there was nothing to watch except Disney. And the only thing that would come on Disney after 11 o'clock at night was fucking Zorro. Zorro until 4 o'clock in the morning, and that was all I watched all night long, and I burned myself out. I can't watch Disney anymore to this day.
It just really sucks that they kind of shut down most of their feature-length animation projects.
Well, they still got, what's that one? What's that one? Gravity Falls. I like Gravity Falls.
Yeah, I like
Well, I'm talking about like feature-length, not television shows. Feature-length.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because everyone needs to be like Pixar now.
Slicer, I know you've got at least one more because I know you're going to mention it at some point.
My Little Pony?
There it is.
Okay, yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
The most recent iteration, anyway. I mean, I've seen the first season. It's not... It has some good plots, but I mean, that's about it. I mean actual story plots, not horse butt.
Okay.
Never mind. That's
I don't get that.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Fair enough. Any others?
Regular show.
None that I can think of off
watch
the top of my
nowadays.
head.
Yeah,
what about
regular
you,
shows.
Casey? Any that you specifically got that we didn't?
That I specifically got, as in like British shows.
Yeah.
Not really. We got a lot of imports when it comes to cartoons. So like we got a lot of American shows, and anything else was in a foreign language, so I didn't watch it. But I really did like grow up on the classics, like the really old Disney and Warner Brothers shorts.
Yeah, those are always
like
fantastic.
Bugs Bunny, and Daffy Duck, and all that stuff, and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Has to be given a mention.
Quick note: I hate Tom and Jerry. I hate the concept.
The
of
original
that show.
Tom and
No,
Jerry was great.
I hate the concept of that show because Jerry's more of a dick than Tom is.
Yeah,
They're
I
both
didn't like that one.
It varies. They're kind of both dicks most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just a food chain kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I was rooting for Jerry the Mouse. That's Jerry, right? The mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, I got him mixed up
Technically
sometimes.
speaking, he's the underdog, so everyone loves an underdog or undermouse.
I don't think he's the underdog because he never loses. Underdogs have to lose at some point.
Wait,
He's
I
lost
got it
a few
mixed up.
times.
Okay,
He's lost a few times.
He's supposed to lose. That's the general premise. He's supposed to lose, but doesn't. Is how the show works.
Sort of.
Aside from that, I watched Hey Arnold.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
That was a good show. That was a little bit dark as far as cartoons go.
I remember reading somewhere that the guy who did Hey Arnold also tried to pitch a show for Nick and Knight that was just Helga's family.
Oh,
That would have
Yeah.
been appropriate. That would have been appropriate, I believe.
that would have been something.
That would have been pitch black.
Yeah. Yeah. Helga's dad was something, man.
All right, out of the Hey Arnold character.
Constantly threatening to beat her and shit.
Was that Clancy Brown as Helga's dad? I can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the actors because I was a kid and I was just watching cartoons.
I do love me some Clancy Brown, though.
I have no idea why, but I never got into Hey Arnold. It just didn't appeal to me for some reason.
Because it wasn't...
It had a weird look.
It was a very serious show. Like,
it was a lot of the time.
Invader Zim, even though it's dark, it's still really surreal. But Hey Arnold, that was more of like a drama over anything else.
Most of the time, yeah.
How's the movie?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch the Hey Arnold movie?
I might have. Does anyone remember what it was about?
It was like
they were going to bulldoze his apartment complex.
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
that movie. Oh yeah, that movie.
Okay, I don't think I watched that. There was another one that I was going to mention. I've forgotten what it was.
Oh, I just remembered one. Recess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Recess.
Yeah.
I never saw.
I watched Recess.
Yeah.
I think that was it. The 30-minute show I mentioned, it was Recess.
Yeah. The movie was also pretty good with James Wood, of all people.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters, actually.
James Woods, yeah.
That
was a good
James
show.
Wood will always be good, no matter what he's in.
It was a little bit relatable as far as like real young kids go.
Yeah.
I was at the perfect age to appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah. I remembered. Doug. I watched Doug.
I don't really know how I feel about Doug.
I got mixed feelings. I got mixed feelings about Doug.
It did have Billy West in it, though. That's always cool, I guess.
Yeah, it was something. That's what I'll say about it, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it, except for Doug's sister being a hipster.
I mean, it just didn't do anything interesting, like at all.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
It was just this.
I guess they were trying with the whole fantasy thing with him writing comics about was it Quail Man or something? Yeah, they tried. It didn't work very well.
They failed.
Epic failure.
They failed spectacularly.
Spectacular failure.
And there's a lesson in there. The lesson is never try.
Never try. Right. Fandom Flux coming to a theater near you.
I don't know where this is going. What are we talking about now?
I have no
Next
idea.
topic.
Yeah, okay. We talked about cartoons for a little bit, I guess.
I'm satisfied.
Next topic.
I still hate people who think that there's no interest in cartoons just because I think they're only for kids.
Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
I haven't run into anybody like that in a long time.
Yeah.
I had this one guy in my D&D group who was like that.
Really?
He was kind of an ass all around, though, so I just ignored him and let him play his... He was kind of a munchkin, I'll say that as well.
There's so much wrong with what you just said. If you're playing D&D, I don't want to hear you say anything about cartoons ever. Like, that's just me.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I mean, it was just while we were setting up. Or are you talking about the crappy D&D cartoon?
No, I mean...
Oh, that existed. I completely forgot about that. Oh, and Jumanji. The cartoon for Jumanji.
How about Captain Planet? Planet? The lamest superhero ever.
He's a hero. Bring pollution down to zero. God, I don't remember the rest of the words of that song, and I'm kind of grateful.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was that? Oh yeah, I forgot about that stupid power. I mean, it sounds interesting because it's like, oh, I have control over all animals.
What is
but
heart?
He never used it. It was...
Heart is, he can feel all of you.
Is that
Apparently, that was his thing.
I thought it was like he could control animals using it.
I don't know. I guess he was like empathic, I suppose.
What was another really crappy cartoon? There was this wasn't one that actually came into fruition, but when they were originally trying to get the rights for Sailor Moon, they couldn't, so they were making their own Western animation version of it that was looking to be completely terrible.
Wow. Okay. I can understand the idea of doing that.
Yeah.
Execution would be difficult, doing it in Western style, I suppose.
It made me think of Gem and the Holograms.
Oh, man.
I don't know that.
You got me thinking about more cartoons that should have existed or existed for like a split second. Have you seen Pelswick?
No.
No.
You never
What was
seen
that?
Pelswick?
What was that?
It was basically just like a slice of life cartoon about this kid in a wheelchair.
Huh. This isn't necessarily a bad cartoon, but do you guys remember Reboot?
Yes.
No.
I remember what it was. I remember it. I don't remember what it was about at all.
Was that in CGI?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah. I think I saw a couple of episodes
It
of
was
it.
done by It was animated by the same company that made Beast Wars and the CGI music video for Money for Nothing.
That means very little to me. But, yeah, I think I saw a couple of episodes of that and don't remember anything about it at all.
I don't either.
It's a pretty big.
Take that as you will.
It's a pretty big cult show, actually.
Do any of you guys remember watching Code Lyoko?
Yes.
Yes.
I knew that was going to this immediately after you started.
I didn't get into it, actually. I didn't get into it.
It had me for a while, you know. It eventually lost me, but it was pretty cool.
I just felt it was kind of stupid.
It was too slow-paced for what it was. You lost interest eventually.
It had a great
anyway.
Concept, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it had a good concept, and I kind of liked, you know, the characters were kind of okay. But then it just kind of
I think I lost interest around the time they brought in the other kid, and then he became the villain or whatever.
What?
They brought in another guy because they needed more time to do regular life stuff, and then he got stuck in the virtual world and corrupted or something, so he became the new villain.
I dropped off even earlier than that. I dropped off when they brought, like, the pink-haired girl into the reality or whatever.
Oh, wow, that was early.
Back.
Oh, they sent her back?
Yeah, they sent her back.
That sucks.
They do eventually, I believe.
She lasted all of I don't even think it was that long. I think she lasted all 2 episodes in the real world, and they sent her back.
That sucks.
For whatever reason.
Wait, what? No, they do bring her out eventually. It kind of back and forth for a while, but she does stay in the real world eventually.
Oh man, I'm finally back in the real world again. Back you go.
Get back in the box.
I have to admit,
this is an interesting conversation.
For someone who's never watched it?
Yeah.
If there's one thing I wish I'd gotten an animated series, or at least a movie, it would probably be Gorillaz.
Okay.
That could work. They have some pretty good music videos.
You mean the band?
So I'd like to see that.
I mean, if you actually read their book, Rise of the Ogre, they have a very intricate backstory laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Murdoch's from Stoke, by the way, which is my hometown.
Huh.
Oh, cool.
Weird thing.
It kind of explains a lot about him, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Murdoch being the grimy-looking, gross one with the teeth.
The book actually states he's had his nose broken 14 different times.
That makes sense if he's from Stoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up a show. If any of you watch Captain N,
the Game Master.
That was way
okay.
before.
I thought I'd bring that up before I go take a pee, so you can talk about that.
Oh, Captain N.
You can gush about it if you want.
I have nothing to gush about that show because it was really dumb.
Oh.
It's like we need to make a mascot for video games. Okay.
What?
Let's use all of them.
Yes. Let's make a mascot for video games.
Hold on. How old is the show? Because it sounds familiar, but I don't know it.
80s. This was NES stuff.
Yeah, it's old.
When I said before my time, I really meant it. That's before I was even born.
Yeah,
let's make him a relatable high schooler with a Letterman jacket with the letter N on it.
That makes you wonder what high school he went to.
Nintendo High?
Yeah.
Probably.
And also,
they
why
couldn't
didn't his
say
parents
Nintendo.
flip out?
Yeah, that's it.
Why didn't his parents flip out when he, got sucked into the video land or whatever?
Man, it's the 80s. Everyone's on coke. Who knows?
Oh, yeah,
Everybody's
Coke
flipping
Zero.
out.
Yeah, they were on the new Coke. And Crystal Pepsi.
No. Shame on you.
What?
Drugs are serious.
I wouldn't.
I think they'd need to make like a Justice League kind of team if they wanted to personify video games.
They did. They
What?
did.
What?
They had Captain N, Simon Belmont, Mega Man, and Pitt from Kid Icarus.
Huh. All right.
And they all looked
That doesn't work at all, but okay.
stupid. They all looked fucking stupid.
I'm gonna Google this after this is over with.
The way they portrayed Mega Man was just shameful.
Yeah. Oh, and you'll never guess who the villain was.
Wait, shut up. Nintendo character?
Yeah. From the NES era, so you've got that library to choose from.
I don't know. Who?
Mother Brain.
Really?
Yeah. And they kind of turned her into Little Shop of Horrors. She had the same voice and everything.
I'm Googling this after this is over. I want you all to know that.
Yeah. I might need to find a few episodes just to watch.
Oh, 80s cartoons.
Let us move away from
And I'm back.
forward.
By the way, I will know everything that you guys said about me while I wasn't here.
I didn't
all
even mention you. I forgot you even existed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Then
Something interesting
I'll
was
hear
happening.
that too.
Yeah, Captain N, okay?
Yeah.
Outweighs you.
You're welcome for me bringing up the topic then, dickheads.
Well, I mean, after Captain N, it's time for the Super Mario Super Show, paisanos.
Oh, God.
Let's do the Mario.
Yes.
No.
Do the
Oh,
Mario.
I forgot about that cartoon. We're
I
not
used
even
to
on
wa-
cart.
I used to watch the shit out of that.
We sell that cartoon on DVD at my Kmart. I don't know why we have it.
Has anybody
Sell?
bought it?
No. It's not even.
I imagine that's why it's still on your shelf.
It's not even a discount bin. It's on the shelf. Like,
Well, I mean, it's Mario. It's got to have high billing.
You just gotta swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario.
Do the Mario.
Yeah.
Take one step and then again. Let's do the Mario all together now.
I've actually kind of had this idea for maybe like a TV show where it's basically modern cartoons as if they were done in an 80s style cartoon. Like you'd have Soul Eater in a Scooby-Doo style show.
Oh, tell you what, Avatar is Captain Planet.
Yeah.
With like the different elements bending
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Actually, I think
regular
Persona
show would
might
be
be
like
better.
regular show.
I think Persona might be better as Scooby-Doo.
Maybe.
I could see that.
Yeah.
They could pull
Well,
off the episode a week kind of thing.
With Frank Welker as
villain.
Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Megatron. The original Megatron.
Okay.
You keep naming these actors, and I don't know any of them. You just got to name their characters.
He also voices Nibbler. Or at least when he talks. And he also voices...
Oh, so he doesn't do the...
No, he does that. He does that too. Including the
Does he?
slurping noises.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not that hard to do. I can do them.
I don't want you to do them, but
I'm
I
not
had to
going
cut you
to.
off. I had to stop you just in case.
No, I didn't want to because I didn't want to give, like, Casey trouble over having to mess with the levels because I'd be doing those noises.
That's why I tried to stop you.
Sure it is.
Just preventative measures.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next topic because we've gone well over an hour now
Yeah.
already?
All right.
Writer's block. We're going to do this quickly. What are your techniques for getting past it? We'll just make that the topic.
I just kind of sit... What I usually do is I just, like, realize I have it, sit down for a week, and then come back. Because usually once I've daydreamed for a decent amount of time, I've got some stuff I'd like to at least experiment and put down to paper.
Yeah.
All right. Zero? Any techniques you get when you get it?
Everyone
gets it at some point.
Well, when I get it, I typically there is that waiting for a while, but what I like to do is I listen to music that kind of fits the sort of the theme of what I'm trying to write for, the idea, to try to help me.
I'm applauding you. I don't know whether it's coming through the microphone, but I'm applauding you for backing up my point that I made a few weeks ago about making playlists.
It is.
To fit the mood.
It is. That's like first episode, dude. Wow. I'm surprised you remember that.
Was it the first or the second?
Well, it was the first one we posted.
Oh, yeah, okay.
One of the major bands that really helps me with, say, M1 N470 is the Proto Men.
They're good.
I can see that.
Because you'll find if you listen to all their stuff, you'll find a few ideas from theirs have found their way into my fic.
Okay.
I actually listen to a lot of punk rock because it helps me kind of vocalize my aggressions.
Fair enough. Slicer, I know you're more of a beta than you are a writer, but you have written in the past, and you, I imagine, have gone through writer's block at some point?
Yeah,
Any
definitely. This is going to seem really lazy, but I have enough friends that I can ask them to write things for me. So my motivation to write works mostly off of other people's content, so if I see somebody else has written something, I get ideas from that. That it works well when I beta read stuff, so not so well when I try to write things from scratch.
Can be a good method. I mean, my attempt at writing this week came from reading someone else's work, so...
I feel that's always good, too.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure you don't nick basically everything.
Okay. Is nick the same word to me as it is to you? Because nick means steal to me.
That's what it means to me as well.
Okay, just checking. Kenchi, you have made the claim that you do not get writer's block.
That's why I haven't said anything. I don't get it ever. So
you
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want to. I'm just going to stop it before I get off into a cocky tangent. Because I
honestly don't care that you haven't gotten writer's block because it means you've written a hell of a lot of good stuff, so I'm okay with it. I'll forgive you for not suffering like the rest of us.
I'm just going to keep it short because if you let me talk, I'm going to get into an arrogant tangent, and nobody wants that.
Okay.
Excuse me while I slip into my luchador suit.
I was actually going to mention something that I assumed Kenchi was going to bring up, which was being active is a good way to keep the ideas and the creativity flowing because it gets blood flowing, it gets blood flowing to your brain, oddly enough, when you're doing exercise, take a walk in fresh air. Mm-hmm. Gives you time to maybe think and brainstorm your ideas while you're going because you're not really focusing on anything.
But the outside is bright and cold.
I mean...
It is, and in Stoke it's very, very dangerous, which is why I don't do this. But
well, that's probably why I don't get writer's block ever, because I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
I'm fucking working or behind a desk where I have nothing to do but think of this shit all day, or I'm training.
Or you're fighting.
Yeah. Well, not fighting. Fighting is a bad time to think about stories.
Considering your car jumping story from earlier, I'm surprised you don't take more from real life experiences.
That's, like I said, I have 5 badass moments in my life, and that was one of them. So I don't have that many great life experiences.
That's all you get, by the way. You've hit your limit.
That's your lot.
If I try that again, I'm just going to get hit and break everything.
You're just going to, disintegrate on contact?
Worse. Probably worse. I'm just going to, jump and then land in the fucking windshield and scratch up my fucking legs on the glass and shit. Anyway... I think that covers the topic. I mean, there's some techniques that you can use there, maybe. You might want to try. I don't know.
The main thing is just write, Yeah,
if you can't write one thing, try writing something else, just to, get something going.
That's why I always make sure to juggle at least 3 projects. If I'm not, at least posting them, I at least have something to vent with.
And above all else, be Kenchi. Because Kenchi never gets writer block. Ever. No matter what.
Kenchi is your Lord and Savior.
He better be.
You know those
or
how I was asking you to how I was asking you to plug this podcast?
Yeah.
I think you just lost all of the fans that ended up listening to this just by talking about it.
That's why I said I didn't want to get into a tangent because it was going to go a lot like that, only more cartoony.
Okay. All right. We actually got some more questions this week, apparently, according to Zero, so we're going to answer them. Zero, what's our first question? Because this guy sent a lot, apparently.
Okay, the first one is, so when does a fan fiction author transition to good?
This was... Do you want to, read the whole thing?
Okay. It's Tempest Troper who sent me this. And, he says... so when does a fan fiction author transition to good? You have authors like the ones here, and then you have people like Roxius, who's made 907 stories, most of which are crackfics or PWP, and they're pretty darn short. I mean, where do I go for reviews? I really don't want to post something that I haven't made great. But FF doesn't really have fan fiction doesn't really have a sandbox I can throw ideas around in. And how do you know when you've got a great idea and when it's just meh? Basically, how does a author improve when they can't be discovered? And even if they are discovered, how do you know when they done goofed and you need to fix it? Don't you just... And he also says, don't you dare just answer reviews, even though that's technically the correct answer.
Well, I would say, for a start, maybe look for someone as a beta, because they would be more free with their opinions on what they think of your writing, ideally. I mean, what you get with reviews 99% of the time is just, I like this fic, I don't like this fic. That's it. And that's not useful when you want to try and improve. So if you find someone who's willing to look over your work critically and find out what he thinks is good, what he thinks is bad, what you could work on, how you can maybe make it better, that's a good option. Anyone else got any ideas?
I'd recommend you find some friends who you can, just share it with, because you will probably be so scrutinous of your own work that you'll forget some other things, and they might be able to bring them back to light for you, and you might be able to talk to them. Plus, you're talking to them in real time. You don't have to worry about just the space between internets, having to be able to find time to connect to people through the internet. Not to mention that they're your... Okay, thanks. Not to mention they're your friends. They're probably going to know you a little better than some random guy on the internet. No offense.
On the other hand, your friends will be less willing... Maybe, what the fuck is that banging?
I don't know.
Okay. Cutting back in. Your friends would be less willing to maybe criticize you because they're your friends and they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Not my friends. My friends are
painfully
frank.
Yeah, it depends on your friends, but for the most part, some random guy on the internet won't really care if he's hurting your feelings, and he will tell you straight most of the time.
Most of my friends tend to be painfully frank, so I'm good.
Yeah. The other question, anyone else have any ideas aside from that? We've lost Slicer, but we'll keep going.
He said afterwards, by the way, Zero, I'm not counting you in this despite your willingness to help, because if I hadn't posted reviews, we wouldn't really have met. And I'm just guess you want me to stay out of this one.
Also, Slicerness has lost his connection.
Yes, he has. We're moving on anyway. Kenchi, any thoughts for how you can maybe improve as a writer, which I think was the gist of half of his question?
Well, other than improving, the thing I tried to, when I first started realizing that my grammar and the way I laid out stories was bad, I tried doing things like reading actual books, reading novels, reading all sorts of actual published literature. And
hey, I'm back.
Yes, you are. Kenchi?
And I tried to incorporate some of the way that they formed stories or formed paragraphs and things like that, so to improve. And if you start doing that and start reading your own stuff back, you can see what you did wrong over time, and you can start improving it yourself. And then if you're actually worried about getting views or things like that, I think that the best thing to do in that front is build a base, build a fan base of some sort. If you have something that you think is really good, but you're not sure if it's going to get much attention, save it for a bit and try and write something else first so that some people get to know who you are, get to know your style of writing or whatever, and then put out the big thing once you have like a good chunk of people that follow or read your story. And that'll draw in more. That'll immediately give your new story a big bump right away, which will draw more attention. And that's what I think.
Yeah. Also, as someone who has written for a somewhat small fan base and then transitioned to a really, really big one, something with a lot of people reading it, starting writing in that fandom is probably good.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
So we're going to stop here for a second. Beep. All right. We just lost Fleiser, unfortunately. He's having some cold trouble. He might be having some mic trouble as well. So, unfortunately, we lost him, but we're going to carry on without him because, you know, this is the Fandom Flux, bitch. We soldier on.
Fandom Flux 2013.
Yeah. I think Kenchi mostly finished his thought, maybe.
Yeah.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, I didn't have anything
So, just start posting stuff, and maybe you'll get feedback, maybe you won't, but you'll have stuff up there. If it turns out that in the end it was really rubbish, and that's all people are saying, then you can take it down and maybe try again with something else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do at the beginning is just start writing stuff and publishing it.
Just do it. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Look at all of you have at your disposal. You've got a computer. You've got a phone with more technology than George Lucas ever had when he was making Star Wars. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got money, possibly talent, I don't know. But the point is you're not going to find out unless you do something about it.
Ethan, 2013.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so just...
I mean, this podcast kind of just came about from that. We just kind of just said, okay, hey, maybe we could do a podcast. We made a podcast. There it is.
And now we have tens upon tens of people watching our podcast.
We do actually have tens upon tens of people.
Yeah, so just take your shot and just whatever happens, happens. I mean, all you do is try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah. So
it's not like it's going to stay up forever or anything, except it will.
Yeah. Or if you really feel like it, you could take it down. I don't necessarily approve that practice. I like leaving everything up there for posterity, say, look how far I've come. Yeah. But, you know.
But if you realize it was...
Don't want it up there, you don't want it up there.
But if it was like your YouTube vlog channel you made from when you were 13, take that down.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
You don't want people finding that.
Zero, what was the other half of the question? You asked two things, basically.
It was, basically, let me go back to it. It says, he said, you know, how does a fan fiction author transition to good, and how do you know when you've got a great idea and it's just a meh, and how does an author improve when they can't be discovered? If they are discovered, how do you know you've done goofed and need to fix it? Yeah, and I think we covered that with Beta.
Yeah, I think we've kind of... I think a lot of the other questions would kind of be repeating ourselves.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, how do you know when someone's transitioned to good? You don't.
Yeah, you just find them and say, oh, hey, they're improving. It's why there's a trope called growing the beard.
Yeah. You just keep working at it, and eventually you'll improve no matter what.
Or you don't.
Unless... no, you'll improve, but how much you improve... I suppose depends on how much you put into it.
Yeah, I started out kind of crap, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do multiple stories, and then that should, you know, the more I write, the better I'll get.
Yep. Yeah. The more you do something, the better you'll get at it by default.
That's something you need to admit to yourself. You're going to be shit when you start. But the more you improve and the more you get exposure and experience, the less shit you will become. That's really all you need to learn.
And eventually you will probably get a scathing review telling you everything that's wrong with your story, and you'll take offense to it at first, but it's actually the best thing that could ever happen to you. So just read it.
Yeah. Don't worry if there are certain people who are really frank, because that's kind of what internet comments are.
Yeah. Everyone reacts badly to their first bad review. I did. Ethan probably did. Zero,
I just acted really sheepish.
No doubt did.
Mine was more like, oh, that's really it? Okay.
I got kind of...
You'll feel terrible. You'll feel terrible for a while. and then you'll start to think about it, and you'll start thinking about what they said and why they said it, and
whether or not they have any validity.
Maybe they had some good points.
You kind of go through the 5 stages of grief.
Even if they're a troll, you'll feel terrible, and then eventually you'll stop caring.
Yeah, then you'll just realize that guy's a dick.
Yeah. I got a bad review like that just like yesterday, and it just rolls off me now.
Save that for the next question.
It's not even a thing. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's not even a big deal anymore. You just ignore them. Yeah. At some point, it just stops being an issue. Not worth thinking about.
However, I still feel you should look at these at a few, because there will be guys who do have an honest opinion.
Yeah, there's a difference between someone just saying, this is shit, and then there's someone who says, oh, this has problems, maybe here's something you could do to fix them, or this is shit, here's why. The here's why part is the important part. If they say that, then listen to them. If they don't, then you can just ignore them completely, because they're not worth anything.
Or read all fine.
Which is why I hate when I talk about stuff with my friends and then they say they have nothing else to add.
I
have nothing else to add.
Yeah.
You're not my friend, so it doesn't really bother me.
All right.
That just bothered me a little bit, like, in here.
Yeah. Oh. Poor Kenchi. Poor MMA fighter Kenchi.
Yeah, he's going to find me and make me his friend, no matter what.
Sounds like a great idea, actually. Where do you live?
I'm not telling.
Where do you live?
I think he's in Carolina or something.
I'm in the bunker. I'm in the bunker right now. I'm in the bunker.
California, on the other side of the country.
I said I'm not correcting you.
California.
California.
Next topic. Worst review. I got a review that was kind of dickish. Should I find it again? I think I'll find it again. It was an interesting review, if I'll call it that. I'm not entirely sure whether it was meant for the podcast or not, but what they said was, this was by Seductive Apple. Good name. I don't feel like writing a review, but what I do feel like doing is asking a question. What is the worst review you have ever gotten? My knee-jerk reaction was to say this one, because you didn't say whether you liked it or not, even. So, if you were asking for the podcast, sorry, I guess, but maybe you should have said that. So that's probably the worst review I've ever gotten, even worse than the Flame ones that I mentioned earlier. But, yeah, you want commentary in your reviews. You want people to say why they think what they think about it. So, not even bothering to say whether you like it is the worst thing you could possibly do in a review.
The longer the review, the better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that second far. Second place for worst reviews would be the ones that the one guy that just comes back every time I post a chapter and says, thanks for the update.
No, the worst one ever.
You're welcome. So what?
The worst one ever is someone that will follow your story and follow one story in particular, and then post on every single other chapter you've ever written on any other story telling you to do something. Do one thing in particular. Do one thing.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that's horrible. You never seen it before?
I've
never seen that.
What? It's only people typically don't tell me, they typically don't do that to me. I think I've only had one person that just, said straight up, update this story. And that was only once, but most of the time, if somebody's going to say, hey, when are you going to update that, they include it in a review with, at least a little bit of commentary about the new chapter.
Yeah, but on 5 separate occasions, I've got one where someone told me they'd either told me to update a story and they'd put it in every single chapter of every single story I've written at the time to update one story in particular, or they'd ask me to do something in one of my stories, like, hey, you should put such and such with such and such. It'd be a great idea, and they'd put that in in so many words, in every chapter.
That sounds really annoying.
It really is.
Okay, that sounds pretty bad.
I don't care. You can say whatever you want about me. I don't care about that, but have a point, please. That's just my one thing. You can hate me. That's cool. You can love the story, that's cool. Just have a point to what you're saying and don't beat a dead horse, so to speak.
I actually have...
It's also called reviews, not requests. Yeah. Just saying that. Ethan?
I actually have the specific review that I find both the one that berates me the most and the one that I find the most hilarious at the same time up.
Yeah, your dog is a harsh critic, I imagine.
Damn it. Anyway, I'm sure my roommate will stop her eventually. Anyway, can I give the guy's username?
Let's try not to.
Depends on if you want the flack or not. I mean,
it's got 3 numbers. It's got 3 numbers at the end, dude.
Yeah, calling someone out is a little bit of a dick move,
That's
but
true.
Try to keep it vague-ish.
All right. Well, I'll just say this fanfiction.net user, and this is what it says. It says, "I'm going to be truthful here because I really like the story and all of the Fizz stories. So," and he adds an exclamation point there, not like a comma or anything. "Can you go back to how it was being wrote in the first chapters? Less confusion that way."
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Was this for Foreshadow?
Yeah.
To that guy, the first chapters were shit.
Yeah.
I wrote them. I know they were shit.
Also, I also like the hypocrisy of, can you go back to how it was being wrote in the first chapters? Less confusion that way.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that. Grammar on the internet is a rare and beautiful thing. Yeah, so seeing someone without it is not exciting or like special.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Try to make Seta more smartass. That's how he was portrayed in the story. Make longer chapters. These are all advices that I like. I'm not flaming. I just want this story to work. Oh, and update soon. See you later.
This are all advice?
These are all advices.
All your base are belong to us.
I am so full of advice.
Hey, that was a translation, so that he might be ESL. So
I have all my
give him
advices.
a break, maybe.
Let me give
I don't
you
know.
advices. I am advisors.
He might be English second language, so
I guess, but
maybe. I don't know. If he's not, then he really needs to pick up a fucking grammar textbook or something.
If it is a second language and he's saying that the earlier chapters had less confusion, that might be an insult on your writing style.
Well, they sound like a foreign person writes them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that...
Seta is going to Inabaz.
Yeah, that guy has horrible taste. I'm just going to throw that out there. Throwing things out there again this week.
And the best part is, this wasn't even my first chapter. My first chapter, I'll admit, was complete bullshit. This is when I actually got interesting, when I actually started writing the characters.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else got any comments for worst reviews beyond that?
I think I might have mentioned this before, but when I was first started writing, I wrote a 9-chapter long, 18,000 word Harry Potter self-insert fic because I was a
you did mention this once,
and I got 2 weird reviews by one person who was like, "OMG, this story is so awesome. I am writing one story and it is about a Twilight fanfiction," and they completely lost me on everything. I think there was one point when they were talking about, and then Bella was in a bubble and then they popped her and then she died or something like that. I don't even know.
Okay, so they spent the entire time reviewing your fic by talking about their fic. Wow. That's conceited in a whole new way.
Also, I found this one comment on Faith Harry Shadow where the guy forgot to delete. So he has his original review, and then there's another one where it says, "Type your review for this chapter here."
Oh, that might be a glitch on the site. Don't blame people for that. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
That text is not actually supposed to show up anywhere. I mean, it's like one of those auto-complete things. It's just there, and then if you actually send a review, then it's not.
Yeah. No, I mean, there were 2 separate reviews. The first one was type your review in this space here, and then the next one was his stuff.
Yeah, I imagine if it was if he was signed in, then I imagine I responded to him and he tried reviewing again to get it to work, and it worked that time.
Yeah.
So, You can't blame people for that when the site fucks up. It happens. I think we covered that topic pretty well. And here we have our final topic because we've been going for quite some time now. I think we're closing on 2 hours.
Are there any other questions?
I don't know.
From this person, King?
Nah.
No, we pretty much covered everything,
Right.
I think. So, that was question time. Recommendations. We did like a dozen of them last time because people were really excited, maybe, to recommend stuff. We're going to stick with one per person this week. Slicer, unfortunately, is not here, so I am going to recommend something for him because I'm a dick and I'm going to steal his vote.
Viva la Revolution!
Last week he recommended The Ninja Who Lived by 88 miles per hour. That's 88 mph. It is definitely a very, very good fic, and he was definitely right to recommend it. I've read the entire thing last night up till 6 a.m. just reading the whole thing. It's pretty damn good. It's not actually during canon events, as in it's during his academy time for the entire thing, but it's still very interesting and very real plot rather than just, oh, this is school time, fun time kind of fic. There's real things going on, as in Danzo gets involved and stuff. Anyway, I would also like to recommend on his behalf this week, Good Witch Apprentice. Anyone actually watching Ruby from Rooster Teeth?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am too.
This is a Harry Potter and Ruby crossover. Basically, Harry gets transported to the Ruby world through the Veil of Death and ends up joining the mob run by Roman Tortwick and befriended by the twins from the Yellow trailer. The 2 girls with the gauntlets with the blades on them. It's pretty cool. It's not very far in. It's 16,000 words. Kind of fair enough considering there's not much content in the actual show yet. Yeah. So he's kind of just playing it by ear, seeing what he can add, what he can embellish on a little bit. But it's worth a read. It's not very long, won't take much of your time. Worth reading if you enjoy the show, or Harry Potter on its own. I mean, if anything, you don't actually have to watch the show to read the fic, because Harry just joining this world is discovering everything as well. And a lot of these elements haven't been explained yet, so he's discovering things very slowly. So it explains itself as it goes along. That's Slice's recommendation, so we're going to circle around and come back to me again, so I can recommend mine. Ethan, you're going to go first?
Why not?
Because you're on the left. You're on the left on my call screen.
Staring intently at you with my icon. Anyway, I have a Soul Eater fanfiction, and I've always found that when it comes to fanfiction, some of the more interesting ones tend to be the what-if ones. The ones where they change something that seems very slight, but ends up having astronomical consequences in the long run. And
you fall onto a nail.
Yeah, or your butterfly effects, if it spans over a long period of time. But this one is this one called A Switcheroo by Moab, and despite the kind of meh title, it's a very interesting concept in that what if Medusa had kidnapped Maka as an infant and replaced her with Krona?
Okay, that's not a small change, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was that called again?
And it's very interesting because they don't just go for let's just make Maka timid and very inhibitive, and Krona, proud and strong-headed. No.
Yeah, let's not just switch these personalities.
No,
because,
that's
too simple.
This author actually goes out of their way to make Maka be affected by the black blood differently, and that she acts a lot more like she did when she was affected by it in the show, in that she was very impulsive and basically really crazy.
Ooh. That was a great sequence. I love that sequence with the really excitable and the big, huge grin on her face.
Yeah,
and
she basically acts like that. And while Krona is obviously different, he isn't per se, just Maka with a new coat of paint. He's got, since he was kind of adopted, he's kind of got his own faults about how his parents kind of act and how his foster parents might feel about him, you know? And this is a really good one. I'd highly recommend it. A warning, though. It hasn't updated since January of this year, so in all honesty, it might be dead. Yeah.
That's a shame. But, you can't take that into account when you're recommending Fix because there's a good chance that
But it's already got 170,000 plus words, so you're good with what you've got.
Yeah. So it's a good long read.
Not to mention you can make your own ending.
Okay.
All right. Zero, you are in the middle on the call, so...
I'm going to recommend Timeline of Fate by Type Moon Freak. And it's basically, it's Fate's Day Night, but the main character, Shiro Emiya, he ends up getting sent back to ancient England in a sort of, they're trying to, have any of you played or seen Fate's Day Night?
I've heard about it, but I haven't had any intention of going in on it.
Well, there's you get 7 masters, and they all summon 7 servants, which are they're people that are representative, great heroes throughout time and whatnot. And the main character gets, a femme version of King Arthur, right? Yeah, spoiler. But it's old anyway. It's an old thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And in this, during the summoning sequence of one of the other masters, he bursts into the room, and he ends up getting trapped into I think the summoning circle, and he ends up getting sent back to ancient England, and sort of becoming a sort of a soldier there, and and he ends up working with the femme King Arthur person and forming a relationship with her in ancient England, and then he's becoming slowly more and more awesome. And then it switches back to the present, and he's actually becomes his past self, his version of himself that went back in the past actually becomes a servant, and it's very cool.
Yeah, which one is that? Because I'm going to read that now that you said all this.
That does sound interesting. If I'd experienced the show or game or whatever, then that might be something.
It's Timeline of Fate by Type Moon Freak.
All right.
It's 156,000 words. It hasn't been updated since 3 months ago, but that doesn't mean dead.
Yeah.
So it's very enjoyable. Just they really, you can tell they kind of worked to capture that feel of ancient England rather than with some people.
Probably watched a lot of Merlin, I imagine.
Probably could have read Mist of Avalon as well.
Okay, if you say so.
Yo.
Kenchi, you're on the right of the call.
All right.
I don't know why I keep referencing the call screen. I do. It's fun to me.
Straight line.
It was fun to us when we were fucking with
you.
All right.
Anyway.
So I haven't really read anything in a long time, but the one thing that caught my attention recently was a fiction in the Naruto universe called Atlas. And basically, in Atlas, there was a wrinkle in Naruto's seal when he was sealed with the Nine Tails that he can't use chakra. It's not anything he just can't use it flat out. And basically, him not able to use it, and it seems like a super fic at first because even though he doesn't have any chakra, he still becomes a ninja and all this and that, and he doesn't even do it like Lee's way or whatever. He basically fights using tricks. He doesn't use any transformation. He actually dyes his hair and stuff for when he needs to disguise himself. It's basically him using tricks and whatever to get by. He doesn't have any actual powers of his own. He just has taijutsu and just his own tricks and whatnot, like ninja stuff.
Right, so you could consider him a traditional.
So they made him Naruto Batman.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where's
not
Sasuke?
But I'm gonna be the next Hokage. Believe it.
I'll take you down to Orochimaru.
But it's pretty interesting. It doesn't really follow. He doesn't really actually follow any of the actual canon stuff. So not much of it anyway. and I recommend it. I mean, give it a shot. I mean, you might vary on some things because he kind of crushes. At first, he kind of crushes everyone in his grad class at being better than them. And there's a kind of sequence of events, like spoiler if you're going to read this thing. There's a kind of sequence of events where he actually has to like win a bet that he can like outmaneuver all of the 9 rookie Genin in some way, shape, or form, not necessarily in a straight up fight. He just has to prove he can do it somehow. And well, it's just, I mean, he perceives as better than them, but he doesn't actually like straight up crush people. He doesn't fight people and get out unscathed. He's not super smarter than anybody else. And well, I recommend it.
Okay, that's everyone's recommendation except for mine, so I guess I go last. We'll call me the far right of the cult. Why do I keep saying this?
Actually, you're on my far left.
Yeah, you're on my far left.
Am I?
To me,
God, we're doing it
and
backwards.
to me, you're
Oh
in the
no!
dead center.
Wait, no. Wait. If I'm on the far left of yours, then that makes sense because I went first. That's how it works. All right.
Do not question me.
So I did go first in Slice's place. So yeah, that counts as far as I'm concerned. All right. I am going to give my tentative recommendation for a Naruto fic as well called Drifting.
Pacific Rim?
Basically, sorry?
They drift compatible.
Pacific Rim reference, I've not seen it. No. It's written by Alpha Delta 1001. If you can't find it by searching, I imagine it would be difficult, it just being called Drifting. Basically, Naruto is his canon self, more or less, being kind of scatterbrained, very excitable, very active. He spends a lot of his time with animals and learning from them. He's got like a little swallow friend he calls Swift and chases around the village. And one time when he does that, he ends up like falling into transport. I guess it was like a carriage or something, I forget. Anyway, he falls in and he gets taken to the land of the Great River and fights Gato when he's like 8 years old. And basically this is a change from events in how he becomes a lot more competent as a ninja. He's still very much himself as far as the character goes. Very excitable, very active, very, hyper a lot of the time. But it's interesting for the most part in how it deals with the characters. It's very side character heavy, as in everyone gets their own say on events, and you see every character's perspective on everything, which gets a little bit tiresome, especially when there's a minor march of the OCs going on. Because, like, Taiya becomes Ninja of the Leaf when he comes back because he meets her in Land of the Great River. And she gets her own team, so she has to have her own teammates. There's a Kirigakure and... not just the Kirigakure team in the tuning exams, and they're all like kind of superpowered OCs, and it's a little bit irksome. So this gets a tentative recommendation. Give it a try. Naruto isn't necessarily superpowered or like God mode or anything. He's stronger than he is in canon, but that's about it. So it's interesting in some ways and a little bit in others. So it's a half and half recommendation, but that's what I've been reading this week as well.
I just want to say for all of our listeners out there, well, Casey was talking, everybody was just talking in the chat.
They were. And I was ignoring it completely by looking at the fic summary. Which was a good idea, probably. I'm still doing it.
Ethan got my reference.
So,
yeah.
It's over 500,000 words now. It gets a little bit contrived sometimes. Like, Naruto ends up getting transported a second time after the first one through the exact same method.
Actually, when I first heard you talking about Naruto befriending a bunch of woodland creatures, my first thought was like Snow White Naruto.
I don't know. I guess kind of. I mean, he can talk to them and stuff.
Back?
He's kind of like a wildling version of Naruto, I guess you could call him.
Huh.
So yeah, it's fun at times, a little bit annoying in the plotting sometimes, but probably worth a read. It's 500,000 words. Give it a try, I guess. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I had a good time for a lot of it, so.
That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
Okay, so what's happening in the chat is we were talking about Pacific Rim, and Ethan says, do not confuse it for when a group of super soldiers are looking for a certain auto part. Pacific Rim. And I put, or when the Empire has a civil war. Skyrim.
That is a dumb joke.
I had to make it. Okay, I do we have anything left to talk about? No.
I don't think so. I think we've been going for quite a while.
So, yeah.
All right, so I think Ethan. I'm going to give you a basic lesson in humor. Humor has to be funny.
Okay.
We can't see yours and Kenchi. I think Kenchi was doing it on purpose, but Zero's actually took it a step further and actually made it kind of funny. In order, we have Ethan's "or when the light's dull or dim."
Hey,
that's not funny.
King Zero used
Kenchi's
Skyrim.
Or my friend from down the street, Tim. Also not funny, but kind of funny in how stupid it was in comparison to yours, which is equally. Then we have Zero's or the Ant-Man, Hank Pym, which is a little bit funny. I don't know why that's more funny than yours, but it is. Or everyone's favorite Earthworm Jim, or that show Casey doesn't like, Invader Zim. I haven't seen it, you assholes. Or that one game, The Sims. Or that Charles Dickens character, Tiny Tim. Okay, we're done with this joke now. It is over. I am calling it. Alright, thank you for listening to episode 8 of the Fandom Flux podcast. Absolute mess that it was. You can contact us through our Twitter, @FandomFlux. You can contact us through our own personal Twitters. I keep forgetting to give the actual names of them, but I don't care. We're moving on. You could also contact us through the comments on the Fandom Flux blogspot page. You could contact us through... Pardon me spitting everywhere. You could contact us through our own personal profiles on fanfiction.net, which I link every week in a link dump. There you go. So, again, thank you for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 8. We will see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Pacific Rim.